This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal and rock interviews and segments.
You're listening to the Moshpit on Sin 90.7 FM, Melbourne's youth-run community radio station. Now, As a Rival are an up-and-coming punk rock band from Melbourne, released their debut album earlier this year, plus a new single and music video for Obsolete. On the line, I have Pete from As a Rival. Welcome to the show.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
No worries. So, your single Obsolete, released mid-July, is about fighting the reality of aging and fear of irrelevance that comes with it. Where did the idea for the song come from?
Well, writing the album, I think it was my birthday, around the time of my birthday too, so I think I just turned 30, and so it was, so it's kind of a bit like, we were trying to get the album done, but it was taking time, and, it's just about, it's still... and then you always, as an artist, you kind of always question, I think it's good, but what do other people think, and which you shouldn't, but, you always wonder, how it's going to be received, so...
You always want people to like your work. Yeah,
that's it, and it's kind of like, that urgency between getting it out and the stress of, if people like it as much as you do as well.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the basis of it.
Yeah, so tell me a bit about the story behind the music video.
Yeah, so I guess that was, we were kind of, we were tossing up between a couple of singles, but obviously, every show, the time we played it, no one had heard it before we played it, and people coming up afterwards and the new song you played, and they were humming it, and pretty much that was a gauge, and then every show we play, someone comes and goes, that's the best, that's my favourite song, so it was kind of a no-brainer, that's the song we were going to go with, and then, it kind of, the lyrics kind of already explain the clip in a way, so it was it was, the idea was that I'll get a more mature person, an older person to play me, but doing younger things, or, doing things that I do, so kind of that kind of quirky, playing video games, getting a call from your mum and getting all annoyed, going out with mates and stuff like that. And then, once I get on stage, that's when I kind of feel young again, I guess. That was the idea, and I think it turned out really good too. So.
Yeah, it did. That all makes sense. On the single, you collaborated with Tom Reid from Body Jar, which is also a Melbourne punk band, which was formed in the 90s. And also, Tom Reid recorded and co-produced the debut album. So I was just wondering, how was working with Tom, and do you have any plans for any future collaborations?
Yeah, so I've known Tom for about 10 years. We've actually worked on some projects, we played in a band together.
Oh, okay.
We still do. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's weird because I grew up, kind of when I started getting into punk rock, I had 3 albums, and one of them was their first Body Jar album. So it was kind of weird, he's awesome, but he doesn't understand, how trippy and amazing it is that, not only are we mates, but, I sent him demos and he was really... I just wanted some feedback, and he came back and he was like, I want to record it, man. Give me the opportunity. So
yeah,
and it was really easy to work with. We just go, usually when you go into the studio, you're on the clock, so you got to get things done quickly because time and money. And whereas he has a little studio down in Rye, so it's kind of chilled anyway to see air, and we just go in, and he was just really relaxed and just kind of, instead of he just kind of really made me feel really chilled and actually helped, because most takes were only 2 or 3 takes, and we got them, where sometimes if you get stuck, it takes it takes a lot longer. So it was just and just because of all his experience recording, so different kinds of equipment, we tried heaps of different stuff. Usually the last couple of EPs we've done, everything's been up turned up to 11 and just full on, whereas this one was a bit more dynamic in the approach with different guitars and sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yes, in the future, like, definitely wanting to work with him again in some capacity. I think, like, we've started writing again, so I want to at least get down to his studio to do some demoing, probably March next year, hopefully, if everything works out.
Yeah, that's great. It sounds really cool that, like, you've known him for, like, such a long time and you're able to record the album together and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, as I said, like, it's crazy enough that we're mates. I used to listen to him in my bedroom, and now then we're mates. And then when he called me in, he was like, "Man, I want to record it."
Yeah, that'd be
really
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your debut album By Design was released earlier this year. How was the writing and recording process for that, and how has the band felt in the time since its release?
Yeah. So the recording process, I mean, it was totally different, like, from the other ones where we just kind of wrote the songs. I had the songs, and we just kind of wrote. I would write away from the rehearsal space, and then get together and kind of like put them together, and then like we play them live and just kind of tweak them a bit until they're all good. Where this album was more, I had like 40 ideas, and we're just demoing more demoing sides. So I'd demo some stuff and then just be listening to them, like, just on the train and stuff like that. Yeah, it was more away from the studio this time. But it was in a weird transition for the band as well, where my old members decided they had just kind of had enough of playing music, unfortunately. So it was actually just me in the end that was just recording, but I really wanted to do it. So when I got on with Tom, like when Tom came on board, we actually got a couple of the other members of Body Jar, Grant and Whack from Body Jar, to record. And then when that happened, it was like, it was heaps of fun, so I just wanted to get as many friends and that play music involved as well.
Yeah.
And that's actually how, like, Kylie, our bass player now, that's how she became involved with it all.
Okay,
as well.
cool.
So I think, it's definitely a lot different to how I took it, a lot differently to what I used to, and I think it's good because now I'm trying to get back in that space of just doing stuff, but this time will be different, obviously, because I've got a full band behind me, so we're kind of demoing stuff, and I'll demo some stuff, and then at least we'll have something to start with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that it all came along in the end.
It's been good. It's been a crazy 2 years, and this year especially has been awesome crazy, though, like touring around Australia, and the feedback's been awesome, and the crowd's even getting, like, from the first tour to this second one we're just finishing up, like, probably double the amount of people at shows, which is awesome. People coming back.
That is really great.
Yeah.
What's been your favourite place to perform so far on the tour?
Sydney was pretty fun, just because we got, like, heaps of mates up there now, and they all play in awesome bands, so we had it was an insane lineup.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, but then saying that, like, the first time we went to Tassie, Hobart show, it was a really good crowd, and everyone was dancing around, like, people that we didn't know, like, we didn't know anyone there, and everyone was dancing and stuff. That was crazy, and we met some awesome bands, and they've all been good in some way, in some shape or form.
Yeah. As Arrival has performed with Raised as Wolves, and you're also performing with them at the end of October. I spoke to Brad from Raised as Wolves recently on the show, and he was really cool, so I was just wondering what was the highlight of performing with Raised as Wolves? I
think just meeting him, and I heard the stuff. I met them through, like, mutual friends from Sydney. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be fun to play them again later in the month.
So you're coming to Melbourne, home gig on the 8th of October, this Saturday at Ding Dong Lounge. What do you look forward to most about playing back at home?
I think now, so we've been on the road a lot this year, and, like, the shows have been awesome.
Yeah.
Then we're coming back. We're not playing. I guess we're not playing in Melbourne all the time, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's good to branch out and see different places, different crowds.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and the crowd, and coming back, our crowds are actually stronger than they ever have been. I guess it's on the back of doing these tours and not being here all the time.
Yeah.
And our show is just better. Like, I can't wait to play, because we haven't played for a couple of months in Melbourne, but we've been on the road, so our show is pretty solid now.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Pete.
No
worries.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsyn and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsyn. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on Sin 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream Sin 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tomato from Flashgun Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls School.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heavenly Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Olney of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Sin FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Zebrahead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Moshpit on Sin.